Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome to AdamMcKola TV. I am Adam. He is Jay. We are in Paddock HQ, as you can bloody see. And United are back in action this weekend against West Bromwich Albion. So we're here to do a little bit of a predictor preview. Jay, it's the first time you've been on these predictor previews.
It's about time, innit, mate? How long have me and you been friends? Seriously.
Not
Took me about 5 years to get on your channel full stop. And then you've not had me on since.
I know. Well, we got you back now. Hopefully Master Debaters will be back soon as well.
Yes.
I do apologise to everyone for the lack of content over the last couple of weeks. These lot have been keeping me busy and I've been up and down the motorway like a blue arse fly. So hopefully things will be back to normal very soon. But we're going to preview the West Bromwich Albion game here. Jay's already done the preview for Paddock as well, which is good. That'll be out by the time you're probably listening to this. How are you feeling ahead of that game, Jay?
I've got to stick with my predictions of what I've said on Paddock rather than changing it and covering all the bases. I'll be honest with you, it's not so much that I think United have turned the corner or that, you know, the Everton game is it, this is it now. It's the fact that West Brom are so bad that even United this season, I still fancy us for this one, honestly, mate. And I just think, bloody hell, mate, the law of averages. Got to start winning home games sooner or later. We can't keep not winning or keep losing. So I'm feeling relatively confident. I think as well, the international break, I know players are in action. Pogba, Martial, Bruno all played, but Marcus had a little bit of a break. Maguire, I think, could have had a little bit of a confidence boost from his England performance and his goal as well. So I'm hoping that there's a little bit more positivity coming into the games after the international break.
The international break came at a good time for us because we got that victory. And hopefully it's a time for people to just kind of just regather themselves and go again. Those players that needed that match sharpness, hopefully they'll have that. Because I think even the likes of Didier Deschamps was talking about Pogba and Martial, and like their performances weren't quite there yet. They've not quite got that fitness, and they've both missed games this season, so they clearly needed that. So hopefully everyone's coming back ready to go. We need to get a win. Like you said, no wins at home in the league before people mention RB Leipzig. No win. Like, have you ever seen anything like this? I haven't, and you're a bit older than me.
Despite how old I look, I wasn't there for the 72, 73 season, which was the last time we went this long at home without a win from the start of the season. I mean, I remember some sort of relatively poor starts. I mean, 2008 was a bad start. 92, 93, I vaguely remember that was a pretty poor start, but nothing like this. Losing, 3 and drawing 1 out your first 4 home games. It was unheard of.
And you usually win your home games as well, United, and have a good home form. But I know the games we played haven't been the easiest when you look at Arsenal, Chelsea, but like Spurs, Palace, to only have 1 point out of that, that's not good enough. And even if you get 4 points out of 15, it's still like you almost have to win every single game now.
As well, like the nature of those games, like the Palace game, we didn't turn up. The Chelsea and Arsenal games, I think, weren't that different. It was just not good enough. But then the Spurs game, where almost to a man, the entire 11 was terrible. It's like, what is going on here? You know what I mean? Considering this is more or less the same 11 that went on that 22-game unbeaten run or whatever it was at the end of last season, and has a very good record away from home. It was just baffling. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, there's no excuses left now. For the players or for Ollie, I think they've got to start kicking on. And if you can't get much easier than a team that's sat in 18th.
And it's like 3 or 4 months now to the next international break. So perfect time to start building up that momentum.
Let's do this, man.
We're here to predict the team, the score, and another little wild card prediction as well. We'll start off with the teams. Jay, you've done your team earlier. Yeah. So let's go with your team first.
I'll stick with the team, obviously, that I predicted on the other channel, because I don't want to mix it up, because it just makes no sense.
That other channel.
That other channel. This is the main channel, right? That other channel. The channel that I go on now and again when Macca don't invite me on this one. I'm going to go with David De Gea in goal. I've gone with a back four of... I've gone with Williams, purely because there was some question marks even at the time recording this. I don't know how fit Tellez is. I know he's not got COVID, but he's been travelling with Brazil. I don't know if he's match fit, so I've just gone with Brandon Williams, Maguire and Lindelof, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka making up the rest of the back four. I've gone with Fred in a holding midfield role on his own. I thought he was fantastic against Everton. Don't care how good Bruno was. I had Fred down as my man of the match at Goodison. Sort of top draw performance, and I'm hoping we see more of them. Going with Pogba and Bruno, sooner or later, Paul Pogba's going to start performing to the levels we expect from him, and I think this weekend could be that
time. So with Pogba, do you think it's a form thing, or it just don't work with him and Bruno?
I think it's form, mate. We've seen him and Bruno work fantastic. He came on against Spurs last season, and within 5 minutes, him and Bruno was working. So I'm not buying that. Two on their day, world-class players can play together, yeah? It's not an issue. Plus, they both like to drop deep and push forward. They can complement each other. It's just a form issue. Pogba's acknowledged it. hopefully going away with France gives him that little bit of a boost. You know, we spoke about it. I know he was misquoted, but he was saying like he likes being away with the French squad, and we all want to see the best out of Paul Pogba. So, you know, again, I keep saying this, but it's true of him and it's true of the rest of the team. There's no excuses now against the West Brom team. I expect him to shine, and I'm not overly worried because I think he is a form player, Paul Pogba. He does have peaks and troughs, and hopefully we'll be on the edge of a peak soon. So going with him, and a front three, I've gone with Anthony Martial leading the line, of course. Again, don't want to keep repeating myself, but I expect him to get amongst the goals very soon, and this is a game for him to do it. On the left, Marcus Rashford. I know there was some doubts as to how fit he is because he didn't play for England, but he should be okay. I think there was reports coming out as we're recording this that he's had a muscle tear, but it's not that serious. And I'm going with Dan James on the right because Mason, I expect to feature maybe off the bench. I know he's had a few things going on. Dan James obviously scored a cracker for Wales. Great goal. And I'm not giving up on Dan James.
It was with his right foot as well, isn't it?
I think it was, you know. I think it was, mate. Yeah. But I'm not giving up on him quite yet. I mean, I think this season is his make or break season. If he doesn't perform this season, I think he'll move on. But don't count him out just yet because, you know, the thing is at United, I know it's the same at any club, but especially with our fans, and, you know, don't mean this disrespectfully, but one big performance and people get back on side with you.
Oh, mate.
Do you know?
And one bad performance and it's
like,
end of the world.
Yeah, this is it. Like if Dan James has a stormer against West Brom, people will be giving him a chance. They will. You know what I mean? People are like, oh, actually, you know what? He's all right, Dan James. I always rated him. You remember his debut?
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, if he has another stinker, then it's like, oh, I told you so. So I'm hoping there's a lot of players there where they need a decent performance and a decent game this season because it's not quite been happening for him. But I think this is the one for him to do that.
Most def. My team, I've gone with David De Gea in goal, obviously. I've gone with Alex Telles. I know what you've said, it's a bit of a weird one, but I think I've had such little time with him in the first team, I just like to see him play. So maybe it's out of hope rather than expectation. Maguire, I've gone Twanzebe. Lindelof had a little bit of an injury for Sweden.
Yep.
Whether that's enough to keep him out, I don't know. But I imagine if you're Ollie, why would you risk him, right?
Do you think? Sorry to insult you, Marco. Do you think it's time for Ollie to stick with a centre-back pairing and give them a run?
Well, he has. He gives Lindelof and Maguire a run, and that's his preferred choice.
Let me rephrase that then. That's true. Do you think Twanzebe deserves a chance to start alongside Harry Maguire? Because he had that great game, didn't he, against Paris, and then he had a bit of a stinker, and then that's it now. He's like, people feel like, all right.
But I don't think, like, the truth lies somewhere in between those two games, you know what I mean? He's not going to be, well, he might be at this world every single game, but, you know, he's a very good player, and he's not as bad as we saw, and he's probably not as good as we, you know, saw against PSG at this moment in time. And you got to think, if you're playing against Mbappe and Neymar, you can get through probably on just momentum, adrenaline, and like, you know what I mean? Like
Fear
I've played against in like little tournaments, and I remember like I'll use this as an example. I know it's nothing the same, but I played in the Filth Fellas Night tournament before, and like when I was playing up against like Poet and Vuj, you'd mess about. When I was playing up against Leon Knight and Niall Ranger, who are actual professional footballers, I was playing like I was thinking I'm not letting you like score. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I think that's kind of a little bit of it.
I mean, was it a rough game playing against the likes of Niall Ranger and Leon Wright? They're both crackers, them two, aren't they?
Pocketed them, mate.
You love to see it. Go on,
so yeah, I've gone with Axel because I think if Lindelof does have a strain, then don't risk him. Right back, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Midfield, Fred. I've gone Fred as well. Scotty McTominay. Obviously, he's going to the Euros next year, but he played yesterday, so maybe he doesn't play this one. I've gone Fred, Pogba, Bruno as well, Marshall, Rashford, Mason.
Oh, Mason! But look, listen,
Mace.
I hope I've got a lot of time for Dan James. I hope you're right. I like to see Mason back in the side. I just think he might be sort of brought in as a sub for this game because
I've gone Murder Mace because West Brom are going to sit back quite a lot.
Yeah, low block and all that.
Dan James isn't the best against that kind of formation, is he?
He's not. You make a good point.
So I feel like Mason, and with all the talk, he'll score. He'll score as well.
Do you think them three can play long term together?
Yes.
Because I've been thinking about this on the tram up here today. You know what you do? Looking out the window, looking at the
thinking of Mason Green.
I do often just pining out the window like Mason, Marcus, Anthony. And I was thinking, you know what? They can play together, them three.
I think people that say, Mason's a 9 or Green Rashford's a 9 or they're all left wingers. Like they rotate so much anyway.
And I hate to bring this up, forgive me, but you look at the Scousers, right? That front three, we could emulate that but better. People go, oh, you're off your edge, you, Jay. Martial is far better than Firmino.
They don't say that because of your footballing opinions.
yeah, that's true. Mason Greenwood will get to a higher level than any of them in either team. And Marcus keeps getting better. So I think you can have Marcus on the left where he prefers playing. Martial has made that number 9 his own. I don't even get why that's a debate. And Mason, that left foot of his, cutting in, he's already shown it.
And I think people focus on the positions too much. It's not like
right.
they're wingers like Beckham and Giggs. You know, they're.
Do you think Marcus gets down that winger and thinks, I've got to whip this ball in to cross it? Fuck.
And sometimes they rotate. I thought you were going Ronaldo, Rooney, Tevez when you said, I don't want to compare it to these, but I will.
No.
In that, Ronaldo, Rooney, you can say Rooney's best position is striker. Tevez was a striker. Yeah. You know, Ronaldo became a striker. But none of them were out-and-out strikers, yet they all worked in that.
Do you know what's weird about that is people forget this, and it sounds crazy, I'm going to say this, because it's like Ronaldo, but they were pretty unselfish as well. If you actually watch a lot of it, the reason it worked so well is it wasn't all about, it was before it properly became about just Ronaldo. It was like all three of them were like equal.
Back heels. I remember, like, so many chances like that where one of them would get close to scoring and just back heel it.
That's what I mean. It's like they had that sort of understanding. I see a little bit like you've seen Martial and Marcus become more like a team, like partners, because remember when you used to play together and it was like getting each other's way, wouldn't pass to each other, both trying to get a goal. There's more of an
understanding. They play very close to each other as well, don't they?
And
you've seen,
Jose,
what goal was it? Was it against Bournemouth for Southampton when Mason and Marshall did a similar kind of 1-2 move? It's like they have got those little relationships, Bruno and and Marshall. You know, you think of the chip, and then we nearly had one the other day where they scooped it up and Marshall like they do have these little relationships, but we don't have them further back, unfortunately, at the moment.
But the front three, for me, I was thinking about this, man. If everyone's fit, stick with him. That front three, you're going to get... If you don't get 60 goals this season, I'll be disappointed. Even with the relatively slow start we've had.
Well, they've already got around 10.
Exactly, so 50 to go. Easy. You called it as well, didn't you?
Last year.
You said 50
between them. They got 48.
Well, that's good enough for me. To be fair, I said 60 counting Jesse.
60 counting for Greenwood.
Exactly, mate. Thank you.
Not bad. Prediction time. Score prediction time.
You're going to love my prediction. You will love this.
Can we say it at the same time in case we got the same?
Right.
1, 2, 4-0.
3-0. But, right. The reason, sorry, I staggered. The reason you'll love it is because I've got your man. I've got your man score. I went for a hat trick from him.
We're scoring. 100%.
Yeah. So I've gone for an Anthony Martial hat trick. He's gonna listen.
Did you watch that France game the other day?
Mate, I will look it.
Bro.
I was willing him to score more than I've ever.
I was stressing.
Willed an England player to score.
Thinking, Rui Patricio, what are you doing?
Because it's like. Because you're not like, and listen, he's got swagger, he's confident, he's not one of them who disappears into himself. But you know a striker wants a goal. He's not had one for an international football for a while, and he's not got off the mark in the league.
And his last goal got taken off him as an own goal.
Right. So he's like, you want him to get that goal, and eating a bar, I think, the post. Patricio didn't know anything about one of them. He just came out and like hit his arm. I was like, oh my God.
And then Giroud starts the next game and scores 2.
Oh, don't mate. I was like...
I
felt insulted.
Didier Deschamps said after the game, like, didn't go for him today, but I'm happy with him. Like, everything that I'm getting from him. And I think I'm the same. I think as a number 9, you alluded to it earlier, he's more complete. I think strikers will have patches where they don't score. As a number 9, you got to try and limit them so it don't happen. But remember, sometimes Harry Kane used to go all of August without scoring and then get going after.
Let's not forget, right? It's indicative of United this season. We've been terrible in the league for large parts of it, decent in the Champions League. He's scored in the Champions League, you know what I mean? And in the league, it's easy to go with Marcus and with Anthony Martial. Both of them, you go, oh, they had a bad game. Like, you look at Goodison Park, look at Everton game, they had a bad game. But if you watch that game, it wasn't a terrible game.
And a lot of the build-up and shape, Martial's involved in everything.
That's what I mean. And I'm not, you know me, I'm not Mr. Martial FC by any stretch of imagination.
That's me.
That's him. But I'll criticise him when he thinks he needs criticising. I'll admit when I'm worried, and I ain't worried about him. I'm not at all. I'm not. And he'll kick on. And
if you watch the game and don't just look at the score after and say, oh, Martial's not scored again.
No chances, he's not scored, or he's on the back. Well, no, he's not, as if you actually watch the game. He's done what you want.
And he won the penalty against Spurs before it all went Pete Tong and he punched someone in the throat. And he won the penalty against PSG.
And he scored a great goal against PSG. It's in the wrong goal, but it doesn't matter.
Great finish.
Great finish, that mate. Takes skills. No, I'm not worried about them. Listen, this is the game.
So is that your wild card prediction? A Martial hat trick?
Yeah, man.
Or have you got another one?
I can give you another one if you want. What did I say last time? I've not done this before with you. I feel like I've done a wild card prediction.
Did we say Bailly was going to score or something?
I can't remember, man. I think last time I remember doing this with you before, and I said something crazy. I'm gonna say, right. Here's what I'm gonna say. Yeah, Martial will score a penalty. He'll be on 2. Right, he's on 2 goals. He gets a penalty later on in the game, and Bruno goes, "Go on, then. Go on, son." Yeah, and Marcus looks over and goes, "Hang on a minute.
And then
I ain't got a goal today." Yeah. I ain't got a goal today. What's going on here? Have a bit of this. How many kids
feeding these kids? You're not
yeah,
giving me no
goals. What's going on here? So yeah, I'm gonna go with Martial. It's been about Martial this weekend. I don't care, to be honest with you. As long as we get a win, I can't be sitting after the game going, because I'm running out of excuses. Go on, what's your prediction and your what is it, wild card?
I was going to say Harry Maguire will score, but I don't think that's that wild of a card, is it?
Well, it is for him to score 2 goals in 2 weeks. That's never happened
Harry
to him in his
Maguire
career
to finally
before.
score a header. He hasn't scored a header for us, has he? No, he has. Chelsea, he has.
Yeah.
But a lot of his goals, Tranmere, come with his feet.
He scored as many against us with his head as he has for us. Remember for Leicester, the last minute at King Power?
But also, he did pay us back scoring that goal that cost Liverpool the title at Anfield.
Mate. That's when I wanted us to buy him. I am that bitter. I am that guy. I literally was like, we need to get him. We'll 80 million, buy him.
And you're not that guy, because Welbs is that guy.
Welbs is that guy. Come on, start this campaign, Macca, right?
Bring back Welbs.
Bring back Welbs. I'm not even joking. January transfer window. Give Brighton.
Do you want to be the first lady of Bring Home Welbeck? Do you? We'll get a plane, bring home Welbeck. Yeah. Shall we do it for banter?
I mean, I'd do it, mate. I don't care, right? Do you know what, right? It's been that long since he was there, I've forgotten all the times I had to defend him.
Jay's got a great poem about Danny Welbeck
yes.
as well, by the way.
We're like the Danny Welbeck musical society. You've got Dan.
That wasn't me, that was Eminem.
And I've got my poem. The bad thing about that poem was the Daily Mail ran it. Oh. I know, it didn't tell me, I just did it. And I got, someone sends you a message and goes, "Oh, look, you're in the Daily Mail." I'm like, well, I don't want to be. And then I emailed him and he just ignored me. Oh, mate.
Danny will come good.
He will. We will
bring him home.
Bring him home.
Guys, make sure you subscribe to Scotty and Motty. Links in the description below. Make sure you are subscribing to Stretford Paddock. Subscribe to AdamMcKola TV as well. Like I said, that content is going to be coming thick and fast tonight. And with the tracksuit pundits, with Momo, with Bradders, with D. With D tonight, isn't
D, do you know what? I love D, right?
Oh, God.
He's mental,
yeah, he's
right?
mental.
He is mad. As mad as a box of frogs. He was commenting on Scotty and Motty the other day and he's like, "You wouldn't even let me on."
Because you'll get shut down, D.
I said, "D, I love you, mate, but you're crazy and you will get me cancelled."
Yeah.
You're looking after him.
Yeah, don't take him too seriously. I think he's a big troll.
Just a bit.
But yeah, get your thoughts in the comments below. West Brom up next. Keep it like we're doing McKola and Arsenal Uncensored as well now, so that'll be out. See you in a bit.